Will the meeting come to order? We are meeting pursuant to a warrant issued by the Selectmen on the 28th day of September 2020 for a special town meeting. Has the town been warned of the business before it?
Yes.
Will the clerk please read the return of service?
I, Brian Richard, hereby state that I have notified and warned all the inhabitants of the town of West Newbury who are qualified to vote to meet by the ball field on October 17th, 2020 at 10 o'clock.
You'll notice a slight difference in this meeting. I'm not going to ask the non-voters to sit in any particular place. It has been discussed among the Mass Moderators Association that since we're using voting cards and we count the cards, it really doesn't matter where the non-voters sit since they won't have a card anyway. So we will just proceed the way we have been doing all along with the voting cards. And please notice you have both a red one and a green one. You use the green ones if you're voting aye. You use the red ones if you're voting no. Is there any objection to having town employees who are not residents of West Newbury address the meeting if they have information that we need to have?
No.
No.
Okay. Unlike an indoor town meeting, we do not have the entire Board of Selectmen and the entire Finance Committee up here. There is one representative from the Finance Committee, Gary Roberts, who is going to be making the recommendations of the Finance Committee, and Glenn Kemper is going to be making the motions for the Board of Selectmen. And these two will be the only ones who are speaking during the course of the meeting. I'm going to keep my remarks very brief today. I know everybody wants to go home and watch the football game. But I will remind you that the articles are the articles on the warrant constitute the agenda for this meeting, and no business may be brought before the meeting unless it is covered by an article. I'll read the article and then ask the recommendation of the Finance Committee. Then a motion will be made, and we can debate it, and then we will vote. The form of debate is open and free debate. You can speak only when recognized by the moderator. Please keep your remarks to under 3 minutes if possible, but at least 3 minutes. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to see through. There will be no personal attacks. Please don't address comments to specific individuals. Do not engage in cross-examination. And if you have questions to ask, please ask them through the moderator and direct them to the moderator. And only the moderator can ask the opinion of town council. If you have a privileged motion, you may stand and rise to that motion. But otherwise, if you wish to speak, there's a microphone here in the front. You should form a line along the sidewalk or around there. Make sure you maintain social distancing while you're in the line, and you can just speak as your turn comes up. A privileged motion would be a point of order or point of no quorum or something like that, and those do take precedence over regular discussion. So if you have a privileged motion, just please stand in place and say loudly what your motion is. Now, I don't see anyone without a mask, and we really don't have a particularly good place to put someone. Is there anyone in the meeting that is not able to wear a mask? Great, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, without further ado, I will start with Article 1, which is to hear and act upon the reports of town offices and committees. I have not been informed of anyone wishing to make a report. Is there anyone in the meeting who wishes to make a report? We'll go on to Article 2. To see if the town will transfer the sum of $80,953 from the School Stabilization Fund to offset the property tax impact of a Proposition 2.5 override and pay the town's share of debt service associated with the building of the new middle high school. What is the recommendation of the Finance Committee?
Madam Moderator, the Finance Committee, with a vote of 4 in favor and 1 abstention, supports this article.
Madam Moderator,
Mr. Kemper.
I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $80,953 from the School Stabilization Fund to pay the town's share of debt service associated with the building of the new Pentucket Middle High School.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please raise your green cards.
Madam Moderator, two-thirds vote. This is a two-thirds vote.
Thank you. All those opposed, please raise your red cards. Motion passes unanimously. Article 3. Article 3 is similar to the line item budget that we do at the annual town meeting, except that in this case there are only certain lines which are being changed. So we're going to address it the same way we do the line item budget at the annual town meeting. I will read each line and pause sufficiently long that if you want to discuss this particular motion, you call hold loud enough that we can all hear you. I will mark down which ones have holds on them, and then we will go back and take up each line that has a hold on it individually for discussion. At the end of the discussion, lines that had no hold placed on them are considered passed as written in your warrant, and whatever happens to the ones that get hold on them will be that, and we'll take a general vote then to pass all of the amendments. So I will do this part of it. These are the lines on which we have suggested changes. To see if the town will vote to amend line items 3, town manager expenses, 6, finance department salary and wages, 7, special counsel legal fees and expenses, 9, board of registrars salary and wages, 15, police cruiser, 23, Pentucket capital assessment, 24, Whittier minimum contribution, 24, Whittier other assessments, 26, DPW town buildings and improvements, 26, DPW highway, sidewalk, and trees, 32, recreation expenses, 39, unemployment insurance, and 40, employees' health insurance. We'll go back to line 26, DPW town buildings and improvements. Mr. Archibald?
I move that in connection with this expenditure, the town authorize the DPW to enter into a 5-year assured warranty plan for electric vehicle charging stations.
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor of this amendment, please raise your cards. All those opposed to the amendment, please raise your cards. The amendment passes unanimously, and we will take...
Oh, man, 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. You reminded me to look over that way. The motion passes. We'll now take up the entire suite of changes. Mr. Kemper, can you make a motion? Oh,
Madam Moderator, the Finance Committee was unanimous in its support of this article.
Madam Moderator,
yes.
I move that the amounts of the money set forth in the printed report of the Finance Committee for the October 17th, 2020 special town meeting be appropriated, as amended hereby for the several purposes herein itemized, each numbered item being considered as a separate appropriation, and that the same be expended only for such purposes. That sum of $234,460 be deducted from the total line item budget adopted by the motion pursuant to Article 3 of the annual town meeting held on June 27th, 2020, in that the town raise and appropriate the sum of $16,303,921 for the total line item budget for fiscal year 2021.
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your green card.
Question?
Oh, No, we had questions, it's the hold.
The hold was addressed.
Yes. When they're numbered in the Finance Committee booklet, the line has a number of different entries under it, and so 24 had 2 entries under it. Any other questions? Okay, are we ready to vote? All those in favor of these amendments, please raise your green card. All those opposed, please raise your red card. Motion passes. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds the sum of $220,000 to reduce the current year tax rate. What is the recommendation of the Finance Committee?
Madam Moderator, the Finance Committee was unanimous in its support of this article.
Madam Moderator,
Mr. Kemper.
I move that the town transfer the sum of $220,000 from the assessor's released overlay reserve account to reduce the fiscal year 2021 year tax rate.
Discussion. If not, all those in favor, please raise your green card. All those opposed, please raise your green card.
Red card.
It passes. Motion passes.
Can we vote against that?
Yes, red card.
No.
I couldn't-
I couldn't see.
You'll get it.
One of those days.
Yeah, it'll come.
That's all right. Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
Generally having our coffee by this.
That was red card incidentally, but I. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to appropriate in anticipation of Water Department revenue the sum of $14,920 for insurances. What is the recommendation of the Finance Committee?
Madam Moderator, the Finance Committee was unanimous in its support of this article.
Madam Moderator, I move that the town vote to appropriate in anticipation of Water Department revenue the sum of $14,920 for insurances.
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please raise your green cards. All those opposed, please raise your red cards. Motion passes. Article 6, to see if the town will transfer from available funds the sum of $240,000 to purchase a new dump truck with plow and spreader to replace a 2008 International dump truck with same or comparable equipment and to dispose of the existing dump truck in accordance with town policy for disposition of surplus property. What is the recommendation of the Finance Committee?
Madam Moderator, the Finance Committee was unanimous in its support of this article.
Madam Moderator,
Mr. Kemp.
I move that the town transfer from the stabilization account the sum of $240,000 to purchase a new dump truck with plow and spreader to replace a 2008 International dump truck with the same or comparable equipment, and to dispose of the existing dump truck in accordance with the town policy for disposition of surplus property. Any remaining funds will be closed out to the undesignated fund balance at the close of fiscal year 2023.
Discussion.
Madam Moderator?
Two-thirds.
Two-thirds vote.
Hearing none, we'll vote. However, this is a transfer of funds from the stabilization account, which requires a two-thirds vote. So I'm going to take the vote in the reverse order and ask all those opposed to please raise your red cards. And if you would stand up, you're so spread out that I'm afraid I might miss somebody. So if you raise your red card, please stand up. All those opposed, please raise your red card. There's one opposed. All those in favor, please raise your green card. There are 39 in favor. The motion passes. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to extend the sunset clause for the purchase of a new fire department rescue vehicle as adopted under the motion for Article 18 of the annual town meeting on April 29, 2019, for a period of 1 year until June 30th, 2022. What is the recommendation of the Finance Committee?
Madam Moderator, the Finance Committee was unanimous in its support of this article.
Madam Moderator, I move that the town vote to extend the sunset clause for the purchase of a new fire department rescue vehicle as adopted under the motion for Article 18 of the annual town meeting on April 29, 2019, for a period of 1 year until June 30th of 2022.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please raise your green card. All those opposed, please raise your red card. Motion passes. Article 8 contains a number of different changes to the zoning bylaws, and so it will require also a 2/3 vote. I will read the entire article and ask for the recommendation of the Finance Committee, and then we'll have a motion on the article and discussion. When we get to the discussion part, you can ask to discuss any of the items under this article. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to amend Section 5A2C of the West Newbury zoning bylaw regarding accessory uses permitted in the Residence A, and B, and C districts, including the keeping of pets and animals for use of the resident premises and professional home office and customary home occupations. And further, to amend Section 5A3 of the West Newbury zoning bylaw regarding uses permitted in the Residence A, B, and C districts with a special permit, which would modernize terms for old age homes and bring this section into compliance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 3. And further, to amend regulations for congregate housing in Sections 2 and 5A3I of the West Newbury zoning bylaw, which would clarify provisions and eliminate unnecessary restrictions. And further, to amend Section 5B1EI of the West Newbury zoning bylaw regarding outdoor business-related storage and display as an accessory use permitted in the business district, subject to a site plan approval by the planning board. And further, to amend Section 5B2 of the West Newbury zoning bylaw regarding uses permitted in the business district upon a special permit granted by the planning board, which would bring this section into compliance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 40B, Section 3, and clarify provisions related to residential units located in the same buildings as commercial enterprises. And further, to amend Sections 25A2C III, 5A3D, and 5B2D of the West Newbury zoning bylaw, which would consolidate and clarify terms used to describe properties having rooms for rent and define the terms of stay for long-term and short-term rental properties. What is the recommendation of the Finance Committee?
Madam Moderator, the Finance Committee did not vote on this matter.
Madam Moderator, I move that the town amend sections of the West Newbury zoning as set forth in the Appendix B/2020 Special Town Meeting Article Number 8, pages 8 through 12 of the Finance Committee booklet dated October 17th, 2020.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I thought Ray wanted to say.
If not, all those
Hold
in...
on, no.
Whoops.
Madam Moderator, I just want to say that the Planning Board, of course, voted to recommend that the town adopt these changes. And in general, these changes are to eliminate unnecessary language, eliminate ambiguities, and to bring the bylaw into compliance with Mass General laws.
Further discussion? Once again, this requires a 2/3 vote since it's a change to zoning bylaws. We'll take it up in reverse order. All those opposed, please raise your red card and stand. 2 opposed. All those in favor, please raise your green cards. 38 in favor, the motion passes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out today. It turned out to be a beautiful day, and it got us a chance to get out of the house for a while, which was very nice. Appreciate your citizenship. Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We're adjourned.